Thank you and good morning. Thank you for being with us here today at Unity of Bellingham. We're so glad that you're joining us for this service. I'm Liz Layton, and I'm the platform assistant today. And I'd like to start with our 5 principles of unity. God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day. And so it is. And then I'd like to share with you today's daily word. I imagine a world transformed by peace and love. World peace begins within my mind and heart. Closing my eyes, I breathe deeply and envision every person bringing forth the love and peace of God. I see all the world's people surrounded by a healing light that transforms strife, anger, and division into reconciliation, peace, and unity. As I hold this vision, I see the entire world aglow with radiance. Harmony and cooperation heal the world's wounds and encourage love to flower in each person's heart. I carry this vision throughout my day. Divine love, expressing as me, sees oneness regardless of apparent differences. Divine wisdom and understanding illumine my thoughts, inspire my words, and guide me to act in all ways that bring peace to the world. And from Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Amen. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce Reverend Julie Montag, our speaker for today.
Well, thank you, Liz. It's really wonderful to be here at Unity of Bellingham in this time of so much dramatic changes and things going on in the world. It's hard to keep up. I don't know about you, but I know that it gets to me sometimes. This whole pandemic thing gets to me. The fact that I can't go to the movies gets to me. It's hard to just be the normal person we've been for so long. And now it's like, are we ever going to get that back? You know, I have my moments where I think, oh my gosh, I wonder if they'll ever open up things again, And yet, what I know for sure is there is a divine order to all of this. And one of the things that I think is very important in that divine order is that each and every one of us have some spiritual practices to keep ourselves calm and centered and walking through life in a loving, forgiving, generous, compassionate way. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because I know that when I start to feel frustrated, it is like a signal, go back to meditation. It's time to return to meditation. It's time to return to listening to my life and trying to understand what my life is showing me now is mine to do. So I think for many of us, we have spiritual practices we do every morning or every night, or walks we take in nature, or whatever it is that you do that helps you center yourself and breathe deeply in the clean air and enjoy the beautiful days. And that is one of the blessings of this. We're walking through some of the most beautiful days we ever have around here in the Northwest. Not too much rain, wonderful sunshine, lots of beautiful trees. But we also need to take care of our inner being every day, like we take care of our garden or we take care of our car. We need to stop sometimes and sit quietly and move into that meditative place. When I was 14, I learned transcendental meditation. And I've been using transcendental meditation for all these years. And since I'm now only 16, it hasn't been that long. But no, I'm just kidding. I love to meditate. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I remember as a teenager taking the transcendental meditation course and then trying to train my family not to disturb me for the 20 minutes I was meditating. That was the challenge in that. I don't know if anybody has had that before, but I was meditating twice a day at that time, morning and night. And that meditation taught me so many things. There's nothing in meditation that says, here's, some spiritual truth that you probably don't know. Meditation is turning all of that off. Meditation is being able to witness your own thoughts. Sometimes we have so many thoughts, 60,000 thoughts a day, something like that. It's just a major amounts of thoughts. And what happens when you slow your mind down and you just watch the thoughts flow across the screen of your consciousness. And as you watch them, they slow down. They get slower and slower. And pretty soon the thoughts are gone. And you're sitting in perfect peace. And that's a wonderful place to be. Because when you can observe what your mind is doing, you can then make choices of how you want to focus your mind's thoughts. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to watch something going across the screen of your mind and say to yourself, that's none of my business. I don't need to engage, Or, that sounds like something people are very concerned about, and I will pray for their peace. Watching your thoughts will give you wonderful, wonderful fodder for good prayers and for bringing into that place of perfect joy, peace, and forgiveness and love and compassion, all of those things. There's 7 habits we've identified as being really, really good habits to cultivate in this time of such stress. And the first one is meditation. And we've talked a little about that. But meditation, if you start that out every morning and get that time to yourself to recenter your consciousness in a way that you can break into it if it starts going in a negative direction. And when we learn to do that, the happiness ratio of our life just soars. If we can learn to think about, well, that was kind of a negative thought, and that doesn't really make me happy, and so I can just let that thought go completely. And it allows you to sort of clean house. It's like getting up in the morning and saying, boy, the dogs sure shed a lot of hair on the carpet. I better vacuum today. Well, it's kind of like that. You get up in the morning and you think, well, I had, scary dreams or something. I'm worried about this or that. And you can just let it go. You can just vacuum all that up in your mind and say, I don't need to waste my time on that. So the first thing we talk about with this is meditation. And meditation is an amazing thing to use every day in your life. I just suggest just trying it for 40 days. 40 days of meditating every morning. And see how many ways your lives change from doing that. The second idea I think we can adopt is listening. Have you noticed politically right now, it's like nobody can say the right thing or do the right thing or get people to come together and start to talk in a more safe and compassionate way with each other, and really listen to what they're trying to tell you. Sometimes my son loves to talk. I mean, I think I had a 3-hour conversation with him 2 days ago. And we talked about everything under the sun. I mean, everything under the sun. And as we went kind of back and forth, because he's a little into these conspiracy theories and stuff, and I'm saying, sorry, I just can't get that. I can't wrap my head around that. And it's okay, because we're both listening. But if we're not listening or not making a commitment to listen to someone and understand what's important to them, the compassion doesn't come in. And that's really what we're getting through. The way we're going to get through this pandemic, this political cycle, this whatever is going on in our life right now, is to slow down, listen to what people are saying. Don't condemn or make anybody wrong. But my mom's favorite thing was to say, well, isn't that an interesting idea? It left her completely neutral. She didn't have to agree. She didn't have to disagree. She could just say, well, that is so very interesting. And I realized that that just allowing yourself to be heard for many people is all they need. They just want to be heard. They just want somebody to listen to them. I think one of the great success stories of our time is Oprah Winfrey, and she is the number one best listener, I think, probably on the planet. She knows how to sit down with someone and get them to reveal, and they feel comfortable and safe around her because she listens with compassion. And if we could take that as an idea, this day, let me listen to everyone who wants to speak to me, and let me listen with that deep compassion and that really trying to understand where they're coming from. Really, really important. The third thing I'm going to suggest, and I know this is a lot, but you can do it over time, but the third thing I'm going to suggest is don't sit around. And I know a lot of people don't sit around. I know some people that never sit around. They move all the time. But I'm thinking about taking care of your body in a way so that you're feeling stronger. There's a wonderful woman named Josette Treckett. I'm not sure if that's pronounced right, but she, at 90 years old, she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and they pretty much said, well, this is probably going to have you in a wheelchair and, a certain length of time, and then this could happen and that could happen, and so on and so forth. And Josette said, no, I'm not going to let my body just dissolve here and sit around and not do anything. So she started doing some movement. At first, she couldn't dress herself. She couldn't get up. She couldn't get herself up in the morning. She couldn't get herself to bed. All of those things, she had gotten so far down the road that it was almost impossible for her to do anything. And then she decided she could work with her body. She could go into her body and say, where do I need to work with you today? What is it that we need to exercise? What is it that we need to walk, to or do to move on? And she worked really hard. At age 91, she started this. 91 years old, and she started walking a few more steps, and moving a few more joints, and getting into that kind of stuff. And after 2 years, she was completely free of rheumatoid arthritis. She now runs a Zumba class, which is one of the highest attended Zumba class on the planet. She has people from 9 years old to 94 years old in her Zumba class, and they're all keeping their bodies going. You know, our bodies are so magical. They are so magical. They will respond. If our mind and our heart connect together on a goal to get your body moving so it really functions well for you, that's amazing. You can do anything. If you can do that, you can do anything. And so moving is really, really an amazing thing. And she has taught Zumba now for 2 years, and she has so many older people, younger people, people with disabilities, people with different things that all come to her class and do what they can to move their bodies into a healthier place. So think about that. How can I move my body to a healthier place? I know my husband and I walk 1.5 miles to 2 miles every morning. We never miss it. Sometimes it makes us late, but we never miss it. And it's so beautiful in the summer to do that. The fourth thing I think that could help us move out of the kind of low-grade depression of this coronavirus, this, we can't, get too many people together. We can't go visit our family reunion with 40 people there, all those kinds of things that feel so restricting. It's time for us to use our imagination. I would like to suggest that we all still have our childlike mind. We have that mind where we can be pirates or fairies or queens or princesses or soldiers or cowboys or whatever we want to imagine. We have that imagination power in our own body here. And whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's be Florence Nightingale for a day and go help somebody who's got a bad cold or a flu, if you think that you can do that safely, or just imagine yourself for a day on a cruise ship and invite people to come over and talk about all your travels. Have a travel phone call where everybody talks about their travels and what the places they like to go or the places they're imagining they're already there. It doesn't matter. But to use our minds to create things that we project and then step into. That was a quote by Carl Jung. He said, "The mind projects what it wants to experience and then steps into it." And we can step into it at any time. We can step into it at home and sitting in our chair, or we can step into it by even taking steps to do things we want to do, as long as it keeps us with some energy of where we want to go, and things can be, more expanded. Love can expand more. Compassion can expand more. So imagination is a very powerful tool to use to create your life the way you really want it. The fifth thing is forgiveness. You cannot have a super happy, joy-filled life if you are carrying around resentment and upsets and somebody shouldn't have been this way or should have been that way or should have done it this way or should have, all of those things just are like, if the Zumba class lightens you up and lets you move easier, everything you haven't forgiven is weighing you down. It weighs you down, and you're carrying a load, and the load gets heavier and heavier. And the only thing that really releases you from it is loving forgiveness. To know that no matter what someone's done to you, no matter how much your heart was broken by it, that you have the power to send that person love, unconditional love, and see yourself embracing in your own mind and forgiving each other and moving on, that releases so much weight from what we carry around and translates just into frustration in our everyday life. Forgiving people is easy. It really is. It's just a matter of either I'm going to hold on to this pen and I'm going to hold on to it so tight because this pen is out of ink and it won't write for me. So I'm just going to stand here and be mad at this pen. Well, it's just as easy to drop it. In fact, it's a lot easier to drop it, really. And once you drop it, it's gone forever. You can use anything you want. You can say, when so-and-so said this to me, they weren't really talking about me, and I'm dropping it. Whatever it is, you can drop it with forgiveness. Forgiveness is magic. It is totally magic, and it can transform your life. The importance of forgiveness is to really be able to clear the decks so that what you're planting now in your life is love, unconditional love, compassion, listening, joy, movement, fun. All of those things are right there to just pluck from the apple tree like we did this morning. And they will allow you to create the life you really want. To create it from your own consciousness, from your own way of being. And in that experience, you will find out that through your mind, your heart, and your love, you can create whatever you want in your life. So, we're all in the pandemic together. I got it. Some people will carry it for quite a while afterwards. I'm afraid that there's been so many people that have chosen to go into the next experience of life from this pandemic, that there's people that will carry that for a while. And it's not going to happen overnight. But we all have to forgive. We have to forgive the virus. We have to forgive whatever has happened in our life, losing people, gathering people, whatever it is. We can get through it together. If we forgive each other and love each other, it is the magic power that can change anything. So go out, love each other, be compassionate, and have a really good time. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Julie. That was wonderfully inspiring. So we all appreciate your words very much. And as you know, Unity continues to grow and prosper. And at this time of our virtual offering, let's share our offertory blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And I do want to send out a big thank you to all of you who support Unity of Bellingham. And if you wish to send a love offering, information on how to donate is at the end of this video in the credits. And now our prayer of protection. Please say this with me if you know it at home. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Peace.